Good day to you. This is Long's Northwest Hitch in Northwest Arkansas. Today we are removing a B&W turnover gooseneck ball out of a 2012 GMC Sierra 2500, and we are putting it in a 2013 GMC 2500. And I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys some differences between a good quality installation and a not so good quality installation. I'm all the time telling our customers that we take great pride in making sure that we give you the absolute highest quality installation possible with the end user and longevity in mind. It takes a little bit of extra time to do that up front, therefore it's a little more expensive, but our customers never have any issues with their units until, for the entire life of the truck. I've got these fender liners of this particular truck already removed. This is a plastic fender liner that goes up inside the fender well, more for aesthetics than anything. And you'll see here where they've notched out the notch for the handle in the gooseneck hitch, but they've just made it a square cut. It's best if these corners are clipped or rounded off, because as you use your hands to grab the lever, these sharp corners of the plastic cut you and tear your skin off your knuckles when you're running the lever. So just something real simple. Something I noticed when I took this fender liner out so that we could get this hitch out of this truck is the mounting holes that hold the liner on, as well as the top ones up here on the fender. Whoever put these fender well liners back up inside the truck didn't even bother to refasten them. They were basically just held in by being behind the fender well edge all the way along. So someone didn't even take the time to put the fasteners back in. Now, yes, they were held into place, and I doubt very seriously they'd come out, but on a brand new truck, you need to make sure that the fasteners find their way back to where they used to be. In fact, they even drilled their own. It looked like they tried to drill their own holes to put the thing in, and then couldn't decide to leave them. I'm not for sure what happened, but there's extra screw hole here that they've put in, and I guess they just gave up, took the fasteners out, and just left the liners out. The actual release handle problem. See how loose this is? It's just completely loose, and that's not acceptable. I've already been up underneath here. I'm not going to take the camera under there to show you, but the bolt that holds this release handle to the actual latch mechanism in there is just, it's a bolt with a lock nut, and the lock nut is basically just threaded onto the threads and stopped. It's not been tightened down. In other words, it hasn't been completed. And as a result, you have a very loose handle that's just all over the place. It does work, but what's going to happen is over time that nut's either going to back the rest of the way off, or you're going to wear through the bolt and the handle's going to come all the way out. So that's not completed and finished. When you find little details like this that are being overlooked, you can't help but think that, well, are my fasteners tightened? They may not have taken the time to really torque the fasteners down to the proper torque specifications, and that's important, because if you just take a impact wrench and hammer these things on, everything will be fine for normal towing. But if you ever find yourself in an accident where you rear end somebody or they rear end you, over tightened bolts can fail. So following the manufacturer's torque specifications is absolutely crucial. And I'm going to look here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this or not, but you'll notice up here, I'm going to try to focus it, we have a missing bolt. I don't know if you can see that hole up there, right there, but you've got 1, 2, 3 bolt heads, and then right about, I don't know if I can get my hand in there to show it to you, but right there at the tip of my finger, we don't even have a bolt in that spot right there. You don't skip bolts just because they're hard to get to. Yes, that is a hard bolt to get to because it's right over the fuel tank and it's a cramped area, but that doesn't give you an excuse to leave the bolt out. All hardware must be used and torqued to proper specifications for the hitch to be able to perform in the manner in which it was designed. So this is very shoddy and questionable installation work. I'm not for sure what shop did this, but anytime you have a shop telling you, oh yeah, we throw those in about an hour and a half, folks, it takes 30 minutes just to get the thing unboxed, laid out, and get the truck prepped and ready to put everything in. So if someone's putting one of these gooseneck hitches in your truck in an hour, it's not anything that you're going to want to tow with. The last thing you want is for your gooseneck hitch to fail while you're towing horses or other precious cargo down the interstate at 70 miles an hour. So just a few things I point out. Also, too, these safety chain loops on this one, the nuts are supposed to be flush with the ends of the safety chain loops. Well, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll just get under here. When you get underneath here and look at the actual unit, you can see how much thread is protruding past the nut. These are lock nuts, and they're only supposed to be flush with the bottom of the nut. When it's that way, it allows the safety chain loops to go up farther. And when they've got these things tightened up that far, you can't get the hook up as far as it can when you have a drop-in plastic bed liner, and some of these real big fat safety chain hooks won't fit underneath there very well. So that's only supposed to be flush, not up there that high. While we're under here, I'll see if I can find that loose bolt for you. Here's here's the handle coming right there. You can see the nut right here. I'm gonna wiggle it. You can see how loose that is. I'm just wiggling it with my finger. I'm gonna try to focus in on it. But it's completely loosey-goosey. That whole rod, that's crazy. Eventually that's going to fail. One last thing, get out from underneath here. Sorry for the shaky camera. One other thing too, when these side plates are put on the side frames of these trucks, it's always a good idea to take the undercoating, the wax undercoating, off of the frame where these side plates are going to mount up to the sides of the frame. Because when we torque these bad boys down to, I want to say that these side ones are like 90 to 110. I'd have to look at the specs to see what they are. But when we torque these down, if you've got undercoating between the frame of the truck and this plate, that undercoating will ooze and gush out with warmer temperatures in the summertime. Today it's winter and it's actually snowing. And what will happen is what was a good torque specification on these two big bolts going through the frame, as that undercoating begins to ooze out around the rails, now all of a sudden they're not their true torque anymore. So it's a good idea to scrape the wax undercoating off of the frame where this is going to make contact, so you get good flat metal-to-metal contact. And they haven't taken the time to do that either. This side's fender liner was also just held in by force without any hardware screws. So just wanted to point some of those things out. I tell customers on the phone all the time about these differences, but no one ever really seems to mind or care. They're just interested in the cheapest installation they can get. And in the long run, it's going to cost you some convenience, it's going to cost you some skinned knuckles, and it may even cost you some property damage or even worse on the highway. So missing bolts, loose bolts, terrible handles, a complete disregard to the owner's vehicle as far as factory fasteners being placed back in their proper positions, so on and so forth. And that's not what we're about. We want to make sure that every installation is done to the highest quality standards possible. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. Feel free to comment or ask questions in the fields below. Again, this is Long's Northwest Hitch, Northwest Arkansas. We thank you for your time. We look forward to doing your next installation. Thanks very much.